The most important government bill that's ever going to be voted on is the Clarity Act, yet most people have no idea even what it is. We're going to be talking about what it is today and why I think it's going to bring trillions of dollars and cause a crypto boom that is similar to what we saw with the dot-com boom, and how the billionaires around the world see this coming, but retail, the everyday person, does not. Before I get started, real quick in the comments, type in your favorite cryptocurrency. Put a 1 if you're new to crypto, put a 2 if you've been here for a while. Let's get started. So when you think about the Clarity Act, I want you to think about it as like a permission slip or the rule book for digital assets. That is Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, WorldCoin, ICP, Cardano, Solana, meme coins, whatever it is that, it doesn't matter. Anything digital on the blockchain, the technology behind Bitcoin. Because of this act, it's going to allow institutional capital flow into this sector for the first time ever without having to worry about repercussions. Because the reality of it is, without the Clarity Act, most of these organizations, the Apples, the Microsofts, the Amazons of the world, they don't even want to touch it. To them, it's not worth the risk of having to battle the SEC or the CFTC, basically battling the Gestapo government. So first, let's talk about why trillions have been locked out. See, for you and I, regular everyday investors, millionaires, and some billionaires out there, we invest on vibes, right? We invest on narrative. We invest on what could happen in the future. We take risk like that. The institutions, the banks, the pensions, the insurers, they don't work that way. See, the reason why is because without clear rules and regulations in a market, right? There's the risk of lawsuits, enforcement risks, audit issues, counterparty risk, the list goes on and on and on. But once we have clarity, the Clarity Act, essentially the funds can say, this asset is legally defined and regulated, therefore I don't have any more concerns. So that alone will open up pensions, insurance balances, sovereign wealth funds, and large corporations that have market caps in the trillions, that have cash reserves in the hundreds of billions, collectively tens of trillions around the world. So now if this happens, let's just talk about the banks as an example. They can then hold crypto, right? Called custody. You can hold your crypto on Coinbase and on Robinhood and on a ledger. Well, the banks, they want to be able to do this, but if they don't have clarity, they don't have clear rules to the road, they're not even going to start. They're not even going to dabble in it. It's not worth the risk to them. But with clarity, you can also bring in not just the banks, but the asset managers, right? Which then will launch funds, ETFs. This will then trickle into 401ks, IRA, pension plans, and things like that. So once they have the rules to the road, and I'll kind of elaborate on this a little bit more, right? Call it productionization. It's a good word. Or distribution. Again, retirement accounts, 401ks, portfolios, all portfolios in general, including digital assets, tokenized funds or RWAs. This is how we go from billions of dollars to trillions of dollars. And this is how you get the 95% of people that don't own crypto into crypto. The question you have to ask yourself, and let me know in the comments, does it make sense to wait until all that happens to then buy crypto when everybody else is buying it? Yes? Or no, it makes sense to buy before all of this actually happens and the market has been beaten down while they're building the infrastructure. Stop real quick and let me know in the comments which one, right? It seems like common sense, but you'd be surprised. Most people, they wait. They wait for safety. They wait for everybody else. Oh, they're doing it now, I can do it. And then they wonder why they never make any real generational wealth. Now let's go and talk about a comparison, because the reality of it is we already saw a kind of boom in technology, and that was the dot-com boom. Well, we're seeing this again 25 years later, really 30 years later, because it started in 1996 with something called the Telecommunications Act. The Telecommunications Act was a bill that was signed into law in 1996 by Bill Clinton. And I'm going to summarize it. It basically allowed competition into the internet sector. So what happened next? You had data centers, fiber optic networks, you had the internet infrastructure, right? You had internet startups, This is what helped fuel the dot-com boom. And why? Well, investors out of nowhere, just with a snap of a finger, the bill was signed, and guess what? They had clear regulatory framework. They had permission now to deploy capital into the internet movement. And prior to that, they could not do this. It's the same thing when we talk about the Clarity Act and blockchain technology. Look at a direct comparison, right? You have the Telecom Act of 1996, removed barriers, right? Unlocked competition, capital flowed into the internet infrastructures, all these new, the internet boom, led to massive investment, actually overinvestment, and we had eventually a bubble. But what came of that was more millionaires generated in any time in history, more innovation in any time in history. Now let's go to the Clarity Act, right? We had the Telecom Act, 1996. After that, boom, we had this big, massive tech boom. Well, the Clarity Act does the same thing. It removes those barriers, those legal barriers, which is going to unlock institutional capital and participation. Then that capital will flow into crypto infrastructure, tokenized assets, and on-chain finance or DeFi. Not to mention how AI is going to get incorporated in all of this. Not to mention that artificial intelligence is getting to the point where you're going to have to run it on a blockchain, not the current financial system or the current internet that we have today as it advances. So what did both of these acts do? It's very simple. They created certainty in a new technological invention and era. Here's the bottom line. The Clarity Act doesn't create trillions of dollars. The money is already out there. The money wants to come in, but it's weighing the risk until we have clarity. So instead of creating trillions, it's going to unlock trillions of dollars into this industry. Crypto goes from an experiment, right? An alternative experiment to the internet and money and how we have transacted for the last 50 years. And it turns it into a recognized financial asset class. The same shift that we got in the 90s with the internet is happening today with blockchain. But here's the facts. The fact. Most people, all they pay attention to is the price. And when price is bad, they don't pay attention. They only pay attention when price is good. And the money is going to be made when the prices are bad. So if all of this made sense, put a 1 in the comments. And if you're looking to find out what you should be looking at, what cryptos are going to do well in the RWA sector, the DeFi sector, the AI sector, make sure you guys click that follow button if you haven't yet. If you're looking to specifically know what I've been buying, what I'm selling, what I'm doing in this market, make sure you guys go check out the link on my profile page. There's a Telegram in there where we all talk about what's going on in this industry, what we're buying, and what we think is going to happen, and how we can get those 10 to 100x returns that we've done over the last couple of years that have taken me and many people out of the rat race once and for all.